Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Precious Metal Summit in Zurich here. It's the first day, and my first interview partner this morning is Paul Westsells, the president and CEO of Western Copper, a company working in the Yukon with the terrific casino project. Paul, good morning.
Good morning.
Pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure to be here.
Thanks for taking the time. Casino project. Maybe give us some short facts about.
Sure. I mean, the casino project is a large copper gold project located in the Yukon. 9 million ounces of gold, 4.5 billion pounds of copper in a reserve, and an additional 9 million ounces of gold and 5.4 billion copper, 5.4 billion pounds of copper in the upside resource. So just an absolutely tremendous asset. Economics are great, and this is a great asset. It's a great copper project, but it's also a great gold project as well.
Absolutely. Let's dive a little bit more into your bankable feasibility you have done so far before we come what you have achieved this year. But I think your economics are really favorable. This, let's say, despite you need around $2.5 billion to build the project, which I think is maybe not easy in this environment, but anyway, you have some more years to go. But please elaborate a bit, if we view it like a gold mine, if we view it more like a copper mine, what are the metrics?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, if this mine was operating today, you would actually get more of the revenue from gold than from copper. So I often talk about this as, it's a true copper gold mine. And if you look at it's a big capital cost, but when you're looking at 18 million ounces of gold over the overall resource, I mean, that's a lot of gold in the ground. So if you look at the cash costs, if you look at it as a copper mine, you're looking at a cash cost of around minus 70 cents per pound of copper. If you look at it as a gold mine, it's minus $500 per ounce of gold. So, tremendous cash costs. And one of the things we're quite, proud of this project is that, from the feasibility study all the way through the downturn in the commodity. So, beginning of this year when copper was low and gold was low, this project still had a 16% IRR after tax. So the economics on the project are just tremendous. And, we're not the only people that feel this way. Goldman Sachs came out with their Copper 85 report over the summer. We were the #1 best copper project that they covered.
Wow, fantastic. I think your neighbor was taken over, right?
Yes,
so how did that help you in a way?
Well, Kaminak was bought by Goldcorp, and they're our next door neighbors. I mean, our claims touch their claims, so we're about as close to each other as you can get. Having Goldcorp buy Kaminak in the Yukon, move into the Yukon, it's the first major mining company to sort of invest in the Yukon and commit to development in the Yukon. So, I know it's great up there, and I know that it's a great place to be developing a mine, but having Goldcorp move in certainly, helps validate the Yukon as a good mining region.
Yeah, but maybe also this could maybe help in the future you guys, because when you have to build infrastructure, maybe they can use some stuff too. Maybe we can do some things together.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping they build us an access road. But I think it's as I said, our claims touch, so they're next door, and certainly been in discussions with them about, is there some ways that we can sort of share infrastructure costs and those things going forward.
Perfect. That sounds like a good plan. Of course, 2016 is ending. So what have you achieved this year? You are fully in the permitting process, right?
Fully in the permitting mode, So it's a bit of a slow year in terms of big news flow. It has been permitting focused. We have moved that forward. We're in a position now where we're about 2 or 3 years away from permitting. So we certainly hit some benchmarks on our permitting over the summer. But really going forward, where we see this sort of excitement in the story and the excitement in the stock is really, we saw our stock triple this year on the back of gold moving up. And as I said, we're half gold and half copper. I really think copper is going to be the next commodity to move up. When that moves up, then we'll move up a bit farther after that for sure. And yeah, I mean, when Goldcorp moves in next door, you certainly a lot of people begin looking at you. So it's been a busy summer from that perspective as well. A lot of interest in what's going on in the Yukon and what we're doing in the Yukon, certainly.
Okay, time-wise, you just said 2-3 years for permitting.
Yes.
Is it really that long?
It's really that long. It's a large project. Yeah, no, it's the 30,000-foot view of this is that you look at these larger billion-dollar plus projects in Canada, and you're about 5 or 6 years to get them permitted. And when you start off, I think you think, well, maybe we can take some shortcuts, and of course you can't. And that's pretty much what it takes. So, but we're feeling pretty confident about how we're moving forward. We've got a good relationship with the First Nations. We've got a good relationship with the Yukon government. The Yukon government actually, speaking of infrastructure, the Yukon government is applying to the federal government to actually build half of our road for us.
Ooh,
yeah, so
that helps a lot.
yeah, and so they're putting some. They've made lots of commitments. It's nice to see them actually put their money where their mouth is on this and make a commitment to funding part of our road. So that's going forward as well, and that's something we're pretty happy about.
Very good. So if you have that time frame, how does it look like money-wise? Do you have enough money in the bank, let's say, for next year even? You're fine with that?
So, I mean, mid-year we had $8.5 million. We expect to end the year around $6.5–7 million in the bank. So, depending on how aggressively we want to push the permitting, that can last us. I mean, if we want to be, if the world looks like it did at the beginning of the year and pretty bad, we can make that last us for 3 years.
Yeah.
But if we want to move the permitting a little more aggressively, that'll last us about a year. So probably next year sometime we'll look to bring some more money into the company.
Perfect. Last question. What is the, let's say, main target for you 2017? What do you really want to achieve?
Yeah, well, I mean, so there's a big permitting milestone in that where we have to finalize the panel process application. So that's going to be done by the end of the year. And as I said, I mean, I think we're looking to bring some money into the company. So we're looking at some options on that. Do we just go raise some equity? Do we look to bring in a strategic partner? Certainly with the interest that we've seen over the past summer, my preference is to go to a strategic partner route. So that's really our focus over the next 12 months.
Yeah, and that would be done via equity, of course, right?
Likely by equity, yeah.
Fantastic, great.
All right.
Paul, thank you very much for the update and all the best. And I would say keep it going. It's a sensational project.
It's a great project.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Paul Westselt, the President and CEO of Western Copper. And yeah, you heard it, the casino project. It is really outstanding, fantastic economic metrics, even negative production costs if you look at from copper or from gold, it doesn't matter. And of course, $2.5 billion is a lot of money, that's no question. But I think with those metrics and what the team has so far achieved, it's absolutely doable, I would say. And also copper is again on the move upwards. Thank God, gold already turned. And they are in the permitting, and we look forward to some good news. Thanks, and bye-bye from Zurich.